Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. Today we're continuing our discussion on models, method, and artifacts, which is one of the major section in PMBOK 7 series, which is the final section, section 4 in the PMBOK 7. We already discussed about different commonly used models and commonly used methods. From yesterday, we started discussing about commonly used artifacts. Artifact is nothing but it's an output, is a template, it can be a deliverable, it can be a document, etc. This is a diagram where it gets an understanding for you that models and methods acts as an input for tailoring your project performance domain. Similarly, artifacts are deliverable which are output of the project performance domain. You can tailor your artifacts according to a project performance domain, according to a project context. Yesterday we discussed there are 9 category of commonly used artifacts defined in box 7, right? Like strategy, logs, plans, baselines, reports, etc. Today we're going to discuss about different types of logs and register that has been used in throughout the project. Let's get started with today's subject. What does it mean to us for logs and registers as a PM or as a project team member? What does it mean to me? What is in it for me? The logs and registers are available to record continuously evolving facts or aspects of the project. So during the project execution or project planning or whatever the phase you are in, continuously want to record certain facts and data or aspects of your project, right? So these particular logs and registers are updated throughout the project, and logs and registers, the terms are used interchangeably. So both means same. You can refer risk log or you can refer risk register. Is up to you with the vocabulary what you want to use, but both are same, right? So essentially it records continuous information about the project, evolving aspects in the project, and it is being updated throughout the project. So let's start the discussion on different logs and registers being commonly used. Let's start with assumptions log. Assumptions log is a record that captures all the assumptions constraints throughout the project, right? You might have start with a lot of assumptions and constraint during the project planning. So assumption and constraint is predominantly visible and it's get logged during the initial phase of the project, and it's getting updated throughout the project, right? That's very important. The second item is the backlog. The backlog is an ordered list of work, right? That what does it mean? That it is the list of work items are ranked, right, by the person who is responsible for that. In a Scrum, the product owner does it, right? It can be a product manager in different scenarios, or it can be a project manager, whoever it is. The product backlog has different forms like product backlog, requirements backlog, and improvements backlog. Essentially, all the backlogs are prioritized and scheduled for upcoming iterations, right? That's what these are the qualities of the backlog. Let's see the examples of assumption log, how it might look like. This is one of the sample template of project assumptions log, right? It talks about date, identified, assumption description, impact if assumption is proven invalid, what is the impact level, who is the owner, what is an action, what is the assumption status. So this is an example of project assumptions log. We are capturing the project information here. This is an example of product backlog, right? So it talks about different user stories available. It talks about the priority. It talks about which sprint has been allocated, what is the status, right? Along with that, you can do that a ranking as well using the business value, right? The third one in the logs and registers section is the change log. What is a change log? Change log is a comprehensive list of changes submitted during the project execution, right? That's all. So what are the changes being submitted by customers or any other stakeholders? which is not aligned earlier has been submitted as changes during the project. So what does a change means to us is a modification to any formally controlled deliverable. Any modification we can log as a change. The fourth one is a issue log. Issue log is where you record and monitor on active issues assigned to an action owner. So let's see the sample change log template. So change log template might look like this. Basic change request information, right? Change description, who has created it, who has requested it, when it was requested, what is an impact, right? So what is the response, right? This is how the change log might look like. Issue log will look like this. What is the issue number, issue description, who is responsible, when it was reported, what is an action, what is the action date, what is the priority and status, right? The fifth item in the logs and register is the lessons learned register. It's a very, very important register in a project management. At the end of every phase and milestone, you try to do a lessons learned meeting and record your knowledge gained during the project phase or iteration. In an adaptive methods like Agile, we use a retrospective, right? We call that retrospective. So lessons learned register used to improve the future performance. That's very, very important to do for as part of your continuous improvement journey. The sixth one is a risk adjusted backlog, the backlog that includes work and action to address the threats and opportunity. We look at the samples, you will understand that this is a sample of lessons learned data, right? It talks about the project information and the lessons learned data here. What is the knowledge area? What is the lessons learned? What is the action required? What is the review and validation? So a sample lessons learned document might look like this, right? Look at this. This is a risk adjusted backlog, right? This is a prioritized backlog, right? It says that user story one is $6,000. They're talking about the business value. Look at this, EMA, expected monetary value of risk one is, it brings down to 65% risk is there. There are 35% of risk is there. Then it's come down to 5850 actually, right? So this is how the risk adjusted product backlog will look like. According to that, you can either prioritize or deprioritize, bring it down up. It depends on the risk associated with that user. See, when you execute the user story, what is the risk? When you execute that particular, when you implement that particular feature, what is the risk adjusted in terms of acceptance or in terms of adaptation of it? So you can see that what is the revenue stream attached with that and what kind of a risk or something like that. Depends on the market context and product context and competitiveness context, right? You can figure out the risk adjusted number, and accordingly the product owner or product manager gets a chance to reprioritize. At the end of the day, the product owner in an agile method try to maximize the value, right? That's very, very important. The seventh log and register is the risk register. It's very, very important register where the output of the risk management process are recorded, right? So this register is the place where all the risk management processes, output of the risk management process are recorded, right? And it talks about ownership, who is the owner of the risk, what is the probability and impact, what is the risk score, and what is the response, mitigation strategy, acceptance strategy, what is the risk strategy or as part of the response is being logged. That is also captured. Stakeholder register, right? Stakeholder register records information about the project stakeholders and its power and influence, and it talks about the assessment details about the stakeholder and the classification of it. What kind of a communication you want to have it, how do you want to communicate, what is the interest of the stakeholder, what is the reporting expected from that person, etc. and etc. Right? This is a sample of the risk register. It talks about when it was raised, what is the risk perception, what is the likelihood, it's the probability and impact, right? Severity and owner, what is the mitigation action, contingency action, right? Then the progress and the status, right? So very simple, a nice one, right? This register. And the stakeholder registers. So this is an example of sample of it, name of the stakeholders, what is the designation, what is the department, role in the project. This is very important. What is they are doing, what is the role in their, in this project, what is the type of stakeholder, external, internal, what's the type of communication they're looking at, what is the expectation, they are, worried about on time and budget delivery, are they worried about, sign offs and requirement sign off and everything, right? What is the influence of our power and influence, influencer, supporter, influencer. That's how you can have that stakeholder registers for you. It's a very, very important register to maintain throughout the project and update it. right? So with that, we are come to a conclusion of this particular video, right? So we have almost discussed all the logs and registers that's been explained in the box 7. So we will continue with the plans and other artifacts which has been discussed in box 7 and coming in videos. Okay, so thanks for your time listening to my video. I'm looking for your inputs in terms of feedback, improvement areas. I would like to improve on my deliveries on my videos, right? So in the execution of what I'm doing for you. Sam, as I told earlier, I already committed and promised. I'm trying to give the videos in the areas of agile, PMBOK 7, project management, leadership, and if possible, I will do videos on data science and machine learning areas as well. So continue, your passion of listening to my videos. I love it. Thanks a lot for your time. Let's meet on tomorrow's videos and upcoming videos. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.